Hey everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit. We're in 3.5 of the Monster Manual, and we're on the Sahuagin. I think that's how you say it, Sahuagin. I'm not sure. But they're a scaly fish man, kind of like old Greg. Do you love me? So, I got some parts out, and I'm starting with this orc swordsman, who I think would be a good candidate for this build. And I'm going to snip his hands off. I'm going to take his head. I think his head pops off, but I'm not sure. No, it's connected. Okay, we'll have to cut that off. No problem. He's got some little spikes on his back that might get in the way of the fins. And he's got a tail, and we're going to cut this little piece out of the middle here to mount that tail. Alright. So, I had these little dragons that came from... for $4, I got a whole bag of dragons from Hobby Lobby. And these have tons of cool parts. So from this guy, I'm going to steal the tail. And I think the head. I'm just going to snip that little bit of that off. Let's see if we can get that head to kind of go on here somehow. I know a lot of you guys are making a big deal about the election. And I understand some people are upset and some people are happy. But here's the real truth, guys. It doesn't change much. The world goes on. Most of us are poor. You know, unless you're millionaires, this isn't going to have an enormous effect. What happens is this. There's a system of checks and balances in place. Every so many years, one party wins. They eventually get too extreme or do something to piss everybody off, and the other party makes promises that'll make them feel better. And then they'll turn around and they'll do the same thing. And then they'll switch back again. And it just kind of goes back and forth like that. So don't let this one day destroy everything you know. This is just one day. This is just one election. Yeah, who knows what could or couldn't happen. None of us know. In every election, there's good and bad things that happen. And it really depends on how you look at stuff. And history is the ultimate judge, not us. Okay? So for people that are upset, just remember, we're all neighbors. We're all Americans. And for you, this is for everybody, those of you who are on the winning side too. We're all Americans. We're all neighbors. We all have a responsibility to each other. Whether you were right or wrong, we won't know. Time will tell. But we do know this. We have to treat each other with respect. We have to be peaceful and kind about this. There's no world we live in where we should be getting out of control over elections. It's happened in the past. I'm not pointing any fingers or blaming anybody. But what I am telling you is we have a responsibility to each other to be decent. And that supersedes anything having to do with political beliefs or other. Our responsibility is to each other. So... again, I know some people are upset and some people are happy. But what really matters is that we as Americans keep our cool and be respectful to each other. That is the main important thing to remember. So, you can hate me or unsubscribe if you want. You can disagree with me if you want. But I don't care what side of the aisle you're on right now. I don't care what your political beliefs are. We need to, as a country, come together and hope that everything's going to be okay no matter what happens. This election and every election. Again, it is not the end of the world, and in 4 years, if you're not happy, and I promise you, I've been unhappy in the past lots of times because I'm a moderate and both sides disappoint the shit out of me. But remember, after 4 years, the system of checks and balances kicks in, and it gets better. So if you're unhappy right now, just relax, calm down. It's going to be all right, I promise you. All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm cutting out little fins for his ears. I'm not even sure how I'm going to do that because they're so small. So I think I'm going to do is cut. I don't know what I'm doing. How? Cut some little grooves out like that, and then cut it at kind of an angle. All right, I have 2 of those. We'll see how that works out. Let's see. La 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 la. I don't know how we got to the point where we're so hateful and angry about stuff, but I will tell you this. We have a responsibility to each other to be respectful. We have a responsibility to each other to recognize everyone's freedoms are important. So keep that in mind as you're going about your business for the next several days and beyond, that we are all a giant family, and that the rest of the world, and I mean this, a lot of the world, I've been all around the world, I've fought in other countries, a lot of the world wants us to fail. They don't want us to have our freedoms, they don't want us to have our beliefs, they don't want our friends and family to be allowed to be gay. They're literally, like, for those of you guys that are supporting Hamas, like, do you realize, like, if you're gay over there, the Arabs will literally, not all of them, but the hardcore ones will literally throw you off a house to kill you, the roof of a building. Just want to put that into perspective. Now, I'm not taking sides in any conflicts. I'm just telling you, like, the truth is, the world's not as cookies and cream as you'd like it to be. It's pretty rough. It's pretty unfriendly in many aspects. All right, so for the feet, what I think I'm going to do, let me get something small here. We live in the greatest country in the world, no matter what anybody says. People can argue that and say, oh, we don't have the highest numbers in education and stuff. Well, who the hell makes that standard anyways? You know, we have a money sink federal program for education that was put in the year I was born. It has not yielded anything beneficial. But that doesn't mean that down the road that we won't come up with something better. It doesn't mean that we can't come back from it. We have a lot of problems. Yeah, we do. But everybody else does too. We still have freedom of speech for the most part, right? And that's important. I'll tell you guys a little story about freedom of speech. I tell this a lot. So, I was in the Army. And obviously, I'm a medium-skinned person. And I saw a KKK t-shirt on a fella at a not Buffalo Wild Wings, what was it? Hooters in Georgia. And I said out loud, I don't want my children to see people. And my son was a baby and wouldn't have known anyways, but I said I don't want my children to see assholes like that. I want to go over there and beat the shit out of that guy. And my platoon sergeant was black. He looked at me, he said, Gruda, who are you to judge free speech? He said, you signed up in the military to defend free speech, and here you are trying to pick and choose what speech is allowed and is not allowed. Man, that messed me up. I eventually figured out what he meant and learned, but at that exact moment, I was stunned. I didn't know how to react or what to think. I couldn't understand why he was saying that to me. But we did it later on as I matured in the Army and learned to curb my temper a little more and stuff. We did have conversations about it, and now I understand. But when he said it to me, I was shocked. But yeah, even hate or misunderstanding or ignorance can be protected. We are not flawless, but we're free. So use that freedom to believe what you want to believe and to say what you want to say. But don't hurt people. Don't threaten people. There's a lot of people making threats right now, saying that they're going to shoot people wearing certain hats and stuff. Don't do that. Don't be that guy or girl or whatever the hell you want to be. Don't be that. Be respectful and loving. Be understanding. Be prepared to deal with disappointment some days. And again, I'm not taking sides. I'm not telling you who what's right and what's wrong. I did tell you to go vote, and I think that's important that we go vote. I think it's very important. Because it's our civic duty. It's a right that we have that people fight for to this day. I know they say that we're not in any foreign conflicts, but that's a lie. We're in war zones all over the world, and we always are. Even when you don't know it, there's special forces teams and Delta teams deployed all over the world all the time. And right now there's actually soldiers in other places too. There are service members in other places too, not just where the Delta teams are and the Delta troops are and the special forces guys are. There's other places. So I will say, don't become a part of that anger. It's too easy to get caught up in it, and it really doesn't help us at all. Now, I have a lot of friends that are on one side or the other of the political thing. And of course, as a moderate, I have, in good humor, argue with all of them. I play devil's advocate and harass people. Because I think I'm really funny. And maybe I am. But even I, as a moderate, know right now is not the time to be harassing people and causing fights. It's time to chill and let people recover from whatever's ailing them, or just celebrate for whatever they're happy about. It's not the time for me to harass them. Now, once everybody kind of gets done, you know, the victors are elated and the losers are angry, and their anger starts to subside. That's when it goes back to me harassing everybody again. And I can't wait. Because no matter what your political beliefs are, the real truth is our founding fathers put together the best system they could. The best system they could leave us with. The best system they could hope for. And that's just what happened. And you can agree or disagree all you want, but to my knowledge, that is exactly how it went down. They had no ill will towards anybody. They weren't trying to do anything fancy or spectacular. They were just trying to make a good world for us. And I think for the most part they succeeded, but I will say this. As long as lobbying is legal and people are walking out of government jobs and working for private companies afterwards because of deals that were made, we got bigger fish to fry than who got elected for president. That is the biggest, most horrible, atrocious situation that we face, is the corruption in our government. So, right or wrong, and I'm usually wrong, I will say that that's something to be afraid of for now and forever. So I've just made one of those little fins and curled it around this stick. I'm going to get a little glue. Mount that in his hand. So our Sahuagins turned out pretty good. Besides my lecture on being a good person. But I'm tired of seeing the divisiveness and the anger. I was on Facebook today, and I can't believe the shit people that I respect are saying. People that I should say I did respect. Because no matter who you voted for, we're all Americans, dudettes. We are all Americans, and nobody is voting for evil on purpose. Nobody is voting to hurt people. No one thinks that way, man. You didn't get up yesterday morning and say, I'm going to go vote to fuck America over. Excuse my French. No one did that, man. Everybody went and voted for what they thought was best and what they thought was the way forward. And the fact that we're calling each other names and saying bad things and threatening people. My company colors are red and white. And my ball cap, my work cap, ball cap that I wear a lot, is red with white lettering. And I've actually had people yell at me in public because of it, accusing me of something without knowing anything about me. They didn't stop to read it. They just got mad. But I will say this. There's been some threats in the Pittsburgh area where I live that, individuals might be shot for what they're wearing. I'm going to wear my work ball cap because I support my company and my job. And I just don't care if somebody wants to shoot at me because they didn't take the time to read my hat. Go ahead and shoot me. Because you know what? I don't go to work for you. I go to work to support my family. If you want to shoot me because you don't like the color of my hat and you think I'm something that you don't like, then shoot me. Hell with you. Just shoot me. I've been shot before. I'll be shot again. Well, hopefully I won't ever get shot again. But I've been shot before. I got scars. Again. If you're one of these people out there making these kind of threats, I'll tell you this. Don't be that guy or girl or whatever in between. Don't be that. Be loving. Be accepting. One of the most beautiful things about America is that we all get a chance to live our dreams. Not just a couple of us, all of us. Keep that in mind. And again, your friends that are upset right now, or your friends that are happy right now, it's okay. They're allowed to be. They waged their bets. They picked their hero. They picked their team. And don't be hateful about it. You made your selection. They made theirs. There's no need for hatefulness right now. Calling people names, this kind of shit, that's got to stop, guys. We got to stop letting these millionaires in politics control how we treat each other. Don't see a lot of poor politicians, do you? Even Walls, who kind of started this out poor, he won't be poor afterwards, I guarantee it. All right. Something like that. Maybe. All right, so if you like what I'm doing here, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell icon, share with a friend if you'd like, leave me a comment. English, blah, 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 blah. Oh, check out the website, buy some miniatures, not these ones that I'm making here, you doofuses. The high quality, flexible and sturdy, beautiful, mocho detail Dungeon Swag minis from dungeonswag.com. Ascorbic and I are just guys in our basements trying to build a business and trying to make a better life for our families, and we would love to see you guys join our team and buy some of our miniatures. There's one more thing I do need to do to this guy, I think, and that's just because he needs some eyes. So I have these little gems that came out of a paintbrush, and I can't find my other little gem beads I use all the time. Well, I probably could if I looked for them hard enough. No, I don't see them though. So I'm going to get a piece of cardboard and a little super glue. And I'm going to get something sharp here. Nope, nope, that didn't work. Okay, these don't work because they're not flat on one side. I got to find my little things. They are little like crystals that come in like gem paintings. And they're just perfect for this kind of shit. I can't find my little bin of them, so I'll just open a new pack. But they come in a pack like this, and there's tons of them in here. Sorry, you thought we were done, but you're trapped. You need a couple more minutes of the old Doomster running as a yapper. 1. Nope, 2. There we go. Alright, so I want to flip these over, which is not easy to do. There we go. See if I can get it down that way. No, I can't. Oh, that one's upside down. And that is how you make an ugly, gross fisheye, my dudes. Oh, we lost it. Oh, shit. There we go. There's a ton of them. Now to make sure those are sturdy, we don't want this coming off during the painting process. There we go. They're a little crooked. That's all right. I'm not fighting with it. All right, so like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, blah, 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 blah. Website, Discord, all that stuff. I'll see you next time in part 2, and we'll paint up our Sahuagin. Thanks for watching.